What's up, movie nerds and basketball geeks? Welcome back to Movie Ball. Channel exposure, I need it! I apologize for the lack of videos in the past couple of weeks. The last week I actually entirely missed putting out a video. I was very busy and I don't like to do that. I am a channel that I like to pride myself on having consistent content, even if it's not quality content and no one fucking watches my videos or cares if there's content. But I like to put out at least once a week. I try to do 2 or 3 times a week, which could be very challenging. But this last week I missed. I did actually have a video planned. I shot it. I edited it. For some reason, when I exported it, it just kept being a video that had no picture, just the audio, and that is just like, obviously I can't use that, so I tried exporting it a million times, but I couldn't get it to work. I think I just have to reshoot it. So if there's anyone out there that is like, why isn't Movie Ball posted in a couple of, it's been too long? That's your answer, and I apologize, and I've just been busy, so aside from that one video that I did have planned that just things went awry, I will try my best to get videos out as much as I can. Who cares? So on today's episode, I'm just going to continue with my top 10 positions in the NBA. My last video was a top 10 point guards in the NBA video. If you care about that and missed it and want to see what I had to say, who my top 10 point guards in the league were, the link will be in the description below. And without further ado, let's get into the top 10 shooting guards in the league. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Let's just get to number 10. At number 10, I have Zach LaVine. Before the season started, I probably would have had LaVine around the 7 or 8 mark, as I found him severely underrated and underappreciated as a player. But so far this season, he's averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists on 40% shooting. That sucks. I know he just had that huge game where he dropped 49 points with a game-winning 3 after he just dropped 4 threes in a row. He was looking very Tracy McGrady-like, and that was a good sign for his development, especially this season, considering he's been pretty atrocious. The whole Bulls roster has, but I don't think that's an excuse. He should be better. He averaged 24 points per game last year. He should be higher than that, and he's 5 points lower. So I am concerned. For now, though, I do still think he is a top 10 shooting guard in the league, and hopefully he can get better and be the star that we all thought he was going to be. At number 9 is Lou Williams. With the way that Lou Williams has been balling out and with Paul George finally back from his injury, the Clippers are looking to be very good and very scary, could win over 55 games perhaps, and if that's the case, Lou Williams could possibly finally be an all-star. Almost like Steve Nash in the sense that he seems to be getting better with age. The older he gets, he puts up even better numbers. Lou Williams is a 3-time 6th man of the year that is still getting mad buckets, even with the likes of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on his team. He's a decent enough playmaker and rebounder for his size, and that just comes along with the instant offense that he provides. Coming in at number 8, I have CJ McCollum. I know this is pretty low for a lot of people, but I've always found CJ to be a pretty up and down player. When he's up, he looks like one of the very best players in the league, but when he's down, he just looks like a pretty basic rotation player. CJ has clearly got game, okay? He's a capable rebounder and playmaker, and he's proven to be a big-time player in the moments that counts, hitting big shots, and being that second piece on a championship contending team. He has shown that he can do that, but even though he can rebound and he's shown the ability to play make and all that stuff, he doesn't average enough assists or rebounds to really be considered one of those really good all-around players. He's basically a go-to scorer, a bucket getter, and that's a great thing to have, especially in the NBA, to be considered one of those players. But, to be an elite shooting guard in this league, and not saying that he's not, because he's up there, he's in the top 10, but to be in the top 5, top 3, I think you have to be a superstar all-around player, and that's just not what CJ is. He's just a little too inconsistent for my taste. Coming in at number 7 is DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan has always been one of my favorite players in the league since his emergence on the Raptors, and I know that he's now a regressed 30-year-old all-star on an underwhelming Spurs team, but I still think he's very underrated. Most people would probably have CJ over DeRozan, but DeRozan has advanced his game to more than just a slashing scorer. He still can't shoot, which is not good for a shooting guard in today's NBA, but he averaged 6 rebounds and 6 assists last year. They're just a notch under that this season, and he can still ball out, and he's one of the clutchest players in the league. Number 6, Victor Oladipo. I know Depot has been injured for quite a bit of time now, and we haven't really been able to see him ball out in recent memory to remember exactly how good he is and where to stack him with all these other shooting guards in the league. But I'm still just very impressed with that 2017-18 inaugural season with the Pacers, in which he averaged more points per game on that team than Paul George ever did with that ball club. Last season, his numbers seemed to go down by about 4 points, which isn't great, but that still put him at about 19, 5, and 5 to go along with fantastic defense, which just adds levity to his game. Hopefully he bounces back and stays motivated enough to move up higher on this list. Number 5, Donovan Mitchell. I understand that some of you might be pissed to have such a young player over someone like Victor Oladipo or CJ McCollum, but I just value Mitchell's game more because he was always the first option since he was a rookie. He's never averaged less than 20 points, and he just seems to be getting better and better. With Conley, Bogdanovich, and a dominant Gobert on his squad, he should finally make his first All-Star appearance this season and continue to improve. Just remember when making these lists that, specifically this list with the shooting guards, that the shooting guard is the weakest position in basketball, just from a standpoint of looking at every position and seeing which position has the most dominant players. Shooting guards are the weakest, it seems, in my eyes, and it's a hard debate because it's just like who's gonna go where. And number 4, Klay Thompson. Okay, you know how I said in my point guards video that Steph Curry is still the best point guard in the league, even though he's injured, because nobody has and probably ever will in this period of time eclipse Steph's body of work and just overall talent and ability? Well, I think Klay has been eclipsed. He's only been out with injury since like the beginning of this season, essentially, and it hasn't been a long time, but even if he wasn't injured, because I don't consider these injuries, like I don't put people with injuries out of the equation. I still consider them, since I last saw them, how good they are, and if someone passes them, that's the case with Klay, in my opinion, and I still just have this feeling that I would have put him fourth because I think that he would have been passed, maybe not, maybe he would have shown me this season that he deserves to be higher, but in my opinion, even though he can shoot the lights out, he's the second best shooter of all time behind Curry, he can score 50 points without even touching the ball, and he's a fantastic defender. I just think that there's not a lot more to his game. Of course, when you have 3 rings, multiple All-Star appearances, and just the resume to go along with that, does it really matter? You're already a fantastic defender and one of the best shooters of all time, so who really cares, right? Well, me, when I value, superstar shooting guards and all-around shooting guards, Klay just doesn't have that playmaking aspect. He doesn't have the rebounding numbers. He doesn't do either of those things that well, and that's fine. He's got his teammates to do that. He's got a great system around him. He does what he does perfectly. That's why he's an all-star. He's a great player. But I just think that there are 3 shooting guards better than him. This is not the career list. He has the best career on this list. Like I said, he has the rings, he has the All-Stars, the All-NBAs, he has the resume. But in my opinion, I just think that there's players with better all-around talent. In third, I've got Devin Booker. Also likely to be a first-time All-Star this season with his team playing well above expectations. Devin Booker just has a very nice all-around game, well, with the exception of defense, but that's like many of the offensive threats on this list. His game is just very smooth, and I'm fine with ranking him above the likes of Klay Thompson and Victor Oladipo until they can come back and prove their worth, but for now, I think Devin Booker is the 3rd best shooting guard in the league. In second place, I've got Bradley Beal. With John Wall gone for the past 2 seasons, Beal has proved how much of a star he really is. This season, he's averaging north of 30 points to go along with 7 assists and 5 rebounds. Easily his best statistical season yet, while the past 2 seasons alone, he averaged over 23 points as well. Even if it's on a shit team, Beal is doing T-Mac-like things out there, and I don't think they should be ignored. And the best shooting guard in the league is obviously James Harden. Love or hate his style of play, this man can get you 40 points on any given night in any way you want it. Free throws, of course, the step back 3, the drives to the lane. Those are just a few of the ways, most of the ways he gets his points, but he can do it. He can always do it. He's been in the MVP discussion every year like LeBron. I mean, this man could have won. This man could be a 4-time MVP. He has won, and there's 3 other seasons he could have got it. The year Steph won his first MVP, many people, like myself, thought Harden should have won it. The year Westbrook won, many people thought James Harden should have won. And last year, a lot of people thought he should have won when he averaged 36 points per game. This year, he's averaging 38. Like, he's almost averaging 40 points per game. Think about that. Can he sustain it? They didn't think he could sustain it last year, so I'm not going to bet against him. It's obvious. I don't have to explain why he's the best shooting guard in the league. He obviously is. He's a monster. He's insane. And like I said, whether you hate him or love him, just admit greatness when you see it. Thank you guys for watching, or just clicking on my video and pressing like if you're my friend and you just want to do that for me to be nice because you don't care about this shit. I mean, I wouldn't want to look at this shit, so I totally understand. So have a good evening. Tuck yourself in. Pretend that like button is your pillow. You're going to sleep tight with it. You're going to cuddle you're not gonna fuck it, right? No, you're gonna lay your head down, you're gonna get comfortable, maybe cuddle up a little bit, get real close, and maybe you'll fuck it. Sexual intercourse. I don't know what that voice or accent was. Sex.